savings account. A health savings account is something you qualify for if you have a high deductible health plan. And what that means is you're going to have a high deductible. Like my deductible, I had to pay the first $1,500, and then that's when insurance kicks in. There's insurance where you pay like $20, $50, $100 deductible, so that's the difference. But I'm going to talk to more about the account structure. So a health savings account is something that you qualify for if you have a high deductible plan. The individual limits are $3,500, and if you're a family, $7,000. The benefits of the plan are, right now I'm going to compare it to a 401k. A 401k, you could put the money in tax-free, similar to a HSA. The growth is tax-free, similar to a HSA. The difference is the government, because you're using this for an insurance supplement, basically, you get to have the growth tax-free if you use it for a qualified medical expense. So if the expense is qualified and your insurance provider gives you the qualified medical expenses, you get to use that money tax-free. So if you put $1,000 in, you don't use any of your money and it grows to $10,000, you can get a $10,000 bill, you can use all of that money, that's all your money. So that's a benefit of the account, the triple tax savings. If you get to a point when you're 65 and you don't use the money, it functions similar to a 401k as well, where when you take the money out, you got to pay taxes on it if you're using it for a non-qualified medical expense. So it's a beautiful account to have, especially I'm really excited about it because I'm trying to do the digital nomad thing, and it gives me a pool of money to pull from while I'm figuring out insurance and how that stuff works in whatever country I go to. So I talked to my insurance provider. They said that as long as it's a qualified medical expense, it doesn't really matter where it happens. And I could either they give you like a debit card that would function, like if your bill is $100, you would swipe it at your doctor's office or your dentist's office. You swipe it for your cleaning, or you swipe it for your cleaning, you spend that $100, and that $100 comes out of your HSA account, just like a regular bank account. Use it overseas, depending on your account, you might have some fees attached to it. So just be mindful, but there's another benefit. If that $100 bill comes up and you have $100, you can spend that $100 cash, hold on to the receipt, and 30 years down the line, you can deduct that money. There's no limit on when you can, reimburse yourself. So you can pay in cash now and just let your HSA compound tax free and use that money in the future to deduct it. So as long as you keep good records, you don't have to use it right away. So for me, that means I can go to the doctors if I'm in another country, don't pay the 2-3% fee to pay with the money that I have now, or use a card that doesn't have a fee attached to it, and then just reimburse myself on the back end. Some of you people listening, that's not applying to me because I don't want to do the digital nomad thing. If you were to change jobs, lots of the time when you change jobs, there's a period where you're not covered by health insurance if you're like a single person. So you're not qualified by health insurance, you're not covered by health insurance, so for that 30, 60, 90 days, however the introductory period is, you have a pool of money that from your previous employer, you have that pool of money that you get to pull from if something were to happen, if you were to break a bone or something that happens to you. So that's the benefit of it. It's your money. And I also have a FSA, which is a flexible savings account. And the difference is my FSA has $2,000 in it. I get to use $2,000, and then after that year, it's gone. I don't get to use it or lose it. If I use $100, $1,900 is gone starting next year. So for my HSA, that's my money forever. I could, once I get my HSA money, I were to leave the job altogether, I get to keep it. So there's $1,500 I have it next year, the year after that, the year after that, and that's the benefit of it. That's how I can grow and compound. Different from my FSA, which is use it or losing money. This is your money. So I explained how it's tax benefit. You can defer using it, so you can let the money grow, and the benefits to me, as far as like wanting to be a nomad and having a pool of money to pay for medical expenses, which is important. But another benefit is, how do you get that growth? It's basically stored in like a bank account when you first start off. For my account, there are 3 tiers. The first tier is like, it's just in a regular savings account type thing. And then for my account, you always have to keep $1,000 in that savings account. But once you get over that first $1,000 threshold, you can start investing in mutual funds. Then once you get to $10,000, you can invest in the Charles Schwab brokerage. You can open that, and you can invest your money however you want, however you want to do it. So, in my opinion, I was like, if you don't know what a mutual fund is, basically a pool of stocks that you can invest in. But mutual funds are notoriously high fee, lots of them are actively managed. I thought it would have been a situation where they're getting a scratch your back, you scratch mine from the mutual fund company. So I thought there were going to be like high expense ratio funds in there. But I was pleasantly surprised because I was thinking I'm going to have to rush to get to that $10,000 because I was going to invest in the mutual fund because I was going to get a better return than the bank account they were putting it in. But 3% expense ratios, that eats into your return. So I said I have to hurry up and get my account to $10,000 as fast as I can so I can take the money. And what I'm going to do is put like a 50-50 split, 50 in like an S&P index and 50 in like a bond fund. So that way I have bonds. It's not too much bond drag, but it's not too much volatility from the stock market because you never know what stock environment you're going to need to pull those funds out in. So I wanted the money to grow, but I also didn't want to have a drag from having too many bonds in it. I wanted to have time to benefit from the compounding. So I thought I had to hurry up and get to this $10,000. But right now, I'll pull my laptop out because I'm going to go over a couple of the funds that are available to me to invest in the mutual fund limit, which is once I get past that first 1,000. Right here, Vanguard Target Retirement Fund. So, like I said, when you get to 65, you use the money like a retirement account. If you're planning to be healthy or if you have the cash flow to pay for stuff out of pocket, you could put it right here in the Target Retirement Fund. And you can just let that money grow. But here it is, what I was excited about. The Vanguard 500 Index, the Admiral shares, which have the lowest expense ratio, which is great for me. They have small growth funds, large value, real estate, short-term bonds, intermediate-term bonds, money market accounts. So if you don't want to deal with any of that, you can at least put it in a money market account. Large growth, a lot of good stuff. Foreign large growth, world allocation. So that might be something to look at. Basically, you can put it in, and lots of these funds have low expense ratios. Like I said, Vanguard. So you have a chance to let this money grow. And basically, from this, I'm actually kicking myself because I could have been on this plan like 2 years ago, so I could have had at least $3,000 already in the market, growing tax-free. But this year, my employer gives me $1,500 towards my HSA. I'm going to put in enough to start investing in these funds, so that way the money can start growing and compounding right away as soon as they deposit that $1,500 in my account. So this year, starting now, I'm going to start investing in my HSA funds. I would actually recommend this strategy. If your employer gives you a 401k match, take the match because that's free money. And then I would go to your HSA and try to max that out. And then I would try and do other retirement funds if you have the availability, because this kind of converts to a 401k type situation anyway. And if you actually have an emergency, medical emergency, which is a big emergency to have, you have that money growing tax-free. You can use it tax-free versus a 401k. There's some stipulations you might not be able to, but this one is specifically designed for emergencies. And when you turn 65, which is like 5.5 years difference, so you can start pulling money out of 401k. And once you turn 65, you can start using it similar to a 401k. So I will do the 401k match and then try and max out my HSA, and then start dealing with some other accounts. But that's up to you. If there's anything I didn't touch on, my mom works in insurance. I'll be happy to answer any questions, but this is just for fun, not financial advice or insurance advice. If there's anything I didn't touch on about, I can't talk on your specific plan. You have to talk to your HR person or your insurance rep. But like about how the HSAs work and stuff like that, I probably can answer some of your questions. So this is Nick checking out, excited about having my HSA account. Fits well into my plan of, moving around the world. I always have some money to pay for medical expenses. If that's not your thing, like I said, if you want to move jobs a lot, it's something to keep in mind. But if you have any questions, just put it below. This is Nick checking out.